Alright, hello and welcome everyone to some MD2L action. We have the Shitcans versus GRIN ESports. What a wonderful name. And I'm Licky the Cow, joined by Pip to bring you all this game of the MD2L just regular season. Yeah.
Man, it's just so nice to see shitcans in action once more. Green Esports, they're alright, but shitcans, that's where I'll put my money. I don't even have to see the draft. In fact, let's just go into the game.
Let's
Let's
just
just go
call
into the
it.
game, Licky.
Call it right here.
Yeah, just call it. We don't even need draft phase. It's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so far. Now I haven't seen shitcans play. I've watched a lot of the teams in MD2L play so far. I haven't seen them play, so I don't know what to expect. And I'm gonna ask you what to expect in a second if you've seen games. But I have seen GRIN Esports games. They have been fairly consistent. They even played with a few stand-ins the other day and made a 4v5 comeback when their offlaner left the game.
I did see that. Yeah.
Which was crazy, right? And so, and I was casting that game and I was like, okay, they're gonna keep going. And so they play the game and they just, with two stand-ins and missing a player for the entire game, they're able to bring it back. But I don't want to take too much away from the draft. So real quick, have you seen shitcans play? Like, what can we expect from them?
I have not seen them play, but I have an idea of their record in the season right now. It's not as impressive as GRIN overall, mostly because they've had a few 1-1s in there recently. They started off a little stronger, but now they've kind of run into a few hurdles along the way. So this is kind of I feel like the defining moment for them if they're able to pull it back into a 2-0, or if they go 1-1 again, then it gets a little it pulls into question the strength of the team, I think. But literal numbers wise, they're pretty close. But recently, it feels like GRIN's on and up, while Shitcans is a little shaky right
on
now.
the low.
Yeah.
Is that how you use that?
I wouldn't say on the low. I'd say a little shakier, because they're still a strong team, right? They're 7-2. GRIN is 8-2. But yeah.
Oh wow, that's actually that'll make this probably a really close game.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually with records like that, I'm actually not sure what to expect. So before I take away from the draft any longer, so okay, we have a tiny Queen of Pain. So it started off with a Doom first pick from GRIN Esports. I've never seen them play that. I'm not sure where they're going to run that. Actually the patch dropped, so maybe this has something to do with the
Doom,
patch.
basically the new ags for Doom allows Doom to doom himself, and therefore Doom affects everyone in a 325 AoE around Doom. So you can basically doom multiple heroes as long as you can stick on top of them. It is kind of insane, and it's pretty good. So they are looking to abuse that fact.
That sounds ridiculous.
However,
crazy. It also sounds like it's potentially kiteable. So obviously if you're there's a few ways I guess you can play around that. I haven't thought about this. I read a little bit of the patch notes, mainly the stuff that would influence the map and the creep waves, the banner creep. I think that's such a cool idea.
It's very cool,
because I personally think it's really cool because it's it changes the way cutting creeps works. Well, I don't know how strong the creep is yet because I haven't played, but if it's a really strong creep and you have Keeper of the Light or a Void Spirit cutting or something like that, and it's a creep that doesn't die to that, that if you're doing a cut to let's say a 5-man push is happening in mid and they're relying on their next creep wave and you're not able to kill that creep in time, well, that could actually change a lot of games. So I think that's really cool for that reason. But anyway, I won't go on that tangent any longer. So that's the dooming himself sounds OP. However, I can automatically think of a few ways around that, maybe really tanky heroes that don't really care about Doom, or heroes that can kite Doom. Queen of Pain is actually a decent candidate for that. Obviously, if Doom gets on top of Queen of Pain, Queen of Pain can't really do anything at that point. But Queen of Pain can kite Doom very well with her Shadow Strike.
Yeah.
Now, Tiny Queen of Pain first phase, I'm not sure where they're planning on sending these heroes. I think they're both pretty flexible. Queen of Pain, you don't have to peg in the mid lane if you don't want to. You could do something creative with it, like run it as like a support if you wanted, because what she does is really well is cut creeps. She's incredibly deadly in lane with her Shadow Strike, especially if you're putting multiple levels into it. And she's also a lot of damage in fights, but obviously, you know, the downside is that she doesn't really have lockdown. GRIN ESports Dawnbreaker was following up from that. I know I'm missing all these bans. I'm sorry, Licky.
No worries.
But Dawnbreaker is something that GRIN ESports like playing a lot. It's something that their team synergizes with a lot. They like having like an active support running around the map. Dawnbreaker goes on the support, and they end up getting a lot of kills a lot of the time. So there's no surprise there. Now, GRIN ESports seems to be getting rid of a bunch of... So they're getting rid of Timbersaw, Batrider, and Viper, which are all really like early game focused heroes that can run over the game. All right, Venomancer. This is new territory for GRIN. I can't say for sure about Shitcans. Maybe Shitcans is just playing what they're comfortable with, and I agree with that. I'm not sure where this Venomancer is intending on going. I like the idea of it, and the reason why I like the idea is because Venomancer is really good against melee heroes, like especially clunky melee heroes, and good for the Veno this game. There's Undying and Tiny, which are both kind of clunky melee heroes. If you get a nice Venomous scale on Tiny, you know, he's pretty sad and kiteable. Undying, very kiteable as well. You can force staff away more on Undying if you're at that point of the game, but I really like that. However, the reason why I'm a little bit like on edge here is because that's not something that I've seen GRIN ESports play. I'm not sure what position they're going to send it in. I'm not sure where they're going to send the Doom. This is new territory for them. This is going to be an interesting game to watch. This is going to be a lot of adapting, I think, in GRIN ESports. I'm not sure how much they practice, but a lot of adapting on their end. I can't really speak for Shitcans because I haven't seen many of their games, but GRIN ESports has these are all decent heroes so far. And on Shitcans, I think they're pretty decent heroes so far as well. However, Shitcans is maybe a little bit low on lockdown, as is GRIN. However, like the Venomancer counter into the Tiny Undying is something for sure. Zeus pick on GRIN ESports, it's a little greedy. Their team is a little bit greedy, and they also lack lockdown so far. Shitcans with the Centaur. Venomancer, again, decent against Centaur. However, Centaur eliminates the Venomancer Gale problem. Oh my, wow, that's actually interesting. I don't know if this is meta, Licky, so you're going to have to answer this for me. But Centaur to get people away from Doom. That's cool.
Yeah, so...
Is that meta?
I mean, it's like I feel like it's been done before. It's not like a direct counter that people generally pick up into Doom. It's more just like a disengaged hero. But also, there's another interesting thing. I don't know if you saw in the patch that Centaur got a reworked Ags, which basically allows him to put a hero in a cart, and drag the hero. So it's technically a better save, and combined with the ult, it basically ensures that the hero will get away because it can't be stunned or targeted or anything like that. Yeah.
I really like that, and I actually have seen clips of that, and I totally forgot about that. However, Ags is a really expensive item, and I think the biggest part I'm worrying about for Shitcans so far, especially with this Drow Ranger that they just picked, is that they want to get the game going fast. We could already tell that with the Undying pick. Undying is a hero that falls off pretty quickly. He does have a bunch of innate a power throughout the game. However, you really want to use him sub 20 minutes. You really want to use that hero. I typically pick Undying when I'm trying to push and try and win the game. Drow Ranger is another hero that generally wants to push and win the game. However, they have changed Drow Ranger a little bit over the years. It's more instead of, it used to be a sub 20 minute hero. I think now that the window is a little bit further, it's maybe sub 25. GRIN ESports though is a really greedy team. This is the greediest team comp So Morphling takes farm on the map, Zeus takes farm on the map, Venomancer could take, or that's their 3, right? That's
Yeah.
gonna take farm on the map. Doom is gonna take farm on the map as well with his Devour. It's incredibly greedy against Shitcans, which is actually like not a greedy team at all. Queen of Pain, I'm not sure what position. Actually, that's definitely mid, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, wait, who's their 5? Okay, Undying's their 5, Tiny's their 4. Okay, never
Yeah.
mind. So yeah, incredibly greedy, and I think Drought Ranger is a perfect one good hero to punish greed, because she tends to get pretty strong pretty early. I've talked a lot, Licky. I've probably taken all of the time of the draft. No, I have taken all the time of the draft phase. Is there anything you want to get in before I take over the entire cast?
I do like the drought pick into the Morphling, obviously, since the drought ult does kind of counter the morph with the armor. I'm not sure how I feel about the Veno being 3 over 4. I feel like Doom 4 still just like offers the same thing and it's probably going to get items decently well, but I feel like it's very dependent on like how this lane goes. I think your point about them being greedy is especially valid here, because it's kind of like how much they can get out of the map to start off and hold there. Because Veno's like an area denial hero, but Tiny kind of owns Veno, since, as we're looking at right now, this hero does have a very minimal HP pool, so I don't know how successful Rhino's going to be against this team comp. It's going to be a lot based off of how their lane goes, and I mean, Drow's not the easiest for Veno. Doom. Doom does have bonus armor now, which is nice, but if they ever get on top of the Veno, he kind of gets his ass beaten in. Yeah?
I think there's like, so there's no initiation on Grin, right? They
That
have
too.
a lot of great counter initiations, so Tiny might have a few problems this game, Centaur might have a few problems this game because of the Dawnbreaker, but they don't really have initiation. And now, the obvious glaring point here is that Doom is an initiator. You just get the Centaur creep, and you get a Blink Dagger, and boom, you have an initiator. However, that's a 4-position Doom, and it's you typically don't expect your 4 to get a Blink Dagger very quickly. And if your 4 is the sole initiator and he's not getting the Blink Dagger quickly, you're really actually delaying the game pretty heavily. I don't know what Doom is doing.
Hello?
I like the idea of crashing the creeps under the tower. I think running directly under was a little bit interesting, but I really like the idea.
I think you forgot that the creeps, if they're the enemy creeps, won't tank tower hits. I think you got a little confused there.
No, I love the idea though. I think that's really creative, and look at the wave state now in bottom lane. Venomancer is pretty able to freely farm. I don't think Veno was going to die regardless against these heroes. One thing I want to touch on real quick, we got a courier kill, very nice by the Doom. One thing I want to touch on in this bottom lane is that I really like that Doom's first play, because he realizes Undying and a Drought is a very strong lane, and as a 4, if you're against a stronger lane, you don't just smash heads into them and hope you're getting out of it. You try to do more creative stuff, so that you're typically going to be pulling creeps, you're going to be stacking camps, and you're going to try and put the wave in a place where your 3 can get as much as you can out of the lane. And then when you guys hit some sort of power spike, which could be at like level 3 or level 4, if someone makes an overextension, you're then in a much better place to punish them rather than just go head on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like how Doom is playing here. In the top lane, so the Tiny I think is probably one of the weaker parts of this Shitcan's draft. And the reason I think that is because, so we have this Drought, we have this Undying, and we know that they're trying to get a really good early game. Tiny is a little bit greedy, and he needs to win. He needs to have a good time in the first like 10 minutes in order to start kind of like getting his Blink Dagger and doing more things with that. If his lane doesn't go well, then he's going to be pretty much holding his team back for a large part of the game until he gets his Blink Dagger. Usually what you want in your 4 is not someone who, actually as I say that in the mid lane, there's a little bit of a scrap.
Oh yeah, All Might? quite strong. Actually, going for the more arc lightning centric build.
Yeah, Queen of Pain was like super low there. However, there's not much more you can do. Yeah, I mean, you can throw a few arc lightnings, but I think Queen of Pain felt fine there, especially because that Shadow Strike, it makes it kind of hard for Zeus to catch up to her.
Yeah, he's got the jump, and then that's really it.
And the jump, right.
That got a little bit nerfed, so it allows you to... That's a little better to play against now. They're actually kind of fighting up here. I feel like someone's about to make a move. All Might is spamming spells onto Grace here, but unwilling to use a jump, especially since this dagger is preventing the bottles from coming out, so...
Yeah, we have runes coming up at 4 minutes. I'd be interested to see what the rotations are going to be for that, because I think this first rune is going to be pretty important for these guys.
Oh, well, Tombstone
really.
dropped bottom. They're attempting to try and take it down, at least on Doom, but just probably can't do that. Right now, actually has to juke around a little bit, getting a tad low.
Actually,
wait, oh no,
Doom is in trouble.
Oh, he was just hanging out next to the Tombstone. He just forgot the zombies respawning, and now Rhino's also in a spot of bother. Oh, he's getting hit by these decays. Every single one of them. Kill should go over to Jao, though.
And honestly, I definitely expected something like that coming from the Jao Undying lane. And right there and right then you see like the power of Undying in the early game. He was able to basically 1v2 these heroes far away from Drow, and he pretty much got a double kill there.
Yeah.
Later and later in the game though, you're less and less able to do that. So you want to try and use Drow and Undying synergize for that reason. Like Drow really wants a good start, so you can start like taking down the tower, moving to other lanes, and Undying is really a great hero to enable that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just excellent versus this Veno Doom, which I feel like they were hoping for a much better start here, but Doom can't really trade with this Undying hero. Veno could if it was just the two of them, but he's kind of just doing an excellent job being annoying up here. And right now, he's just like using Gale for these long shots over here, and it's not really accomplishing a whole lot. Meanwhile, Drow has a bunch of denies, not a whole lot of CS, though. Or last hits, rather. Tombstone drop.
Yeah, and you get a lot of last hits.
Yeah.
Looks like Undying tried something there. But yeah, I think like Drow really needs last hits in this lane. You really have to... Drow isn't like a stack taker. Drow just... You try and win your lane, move to other lanes, and you're mostly hitting lane creeps for the game. So you have to make sure you get them, or else you're missing out on, you know, item timings. Item timings can help you take towers at certain parts in the game. If your item timings are delayed, you're basically missing your power spike. So pretty important.
Yeah, and I mean, we see the potential of like what last hits could look like top with Centaur at 32, and then the Warplane Pixie here at 24, so there's clearly enough. Oh, Doom gets the DD bottom and has a Scorch Earth running as well. The Courier walks by. Grace, though, has a blink in a few seconds and an Undying nearby to help.
Yeah, that was rough because Queen of Pain really wanted to turn there. However, there was a full wave of creeps, and so turning would have been maybe a little bit risky. Although she did have infused raindrops, maybe she was fine. She maybe could have like leaned into the creeps and cast a Shadow Strike, because she does have 3-point Shadow Strike. Now, the thing about 3-point Shadow Strike is it's a little bit controversial. Actually, as I say that, all right, they were pinging on the bottom lane, but Shadow Strike is a little bit controversial. And in the top lane, everything is happening at the same time. They tried going on in the Centaur.
I can't say I agree with 3-point Shadow Strike, though.
No, I love it. I love it. However, it's controversial. And the reason it's controversial is because you're not always going to, like, at a high level of play, you're not always going to be able to, like, run around the map, Shadow Strike people, and get kills. The reason, like, I've seen, like, my friends and some other players that I've watched generally go 2-point Shadow Strike for the lane, and then transition to Scream of Pain to mostly farm camps. If you're going a multiple point Shadow Strike, 3 or 4, you generally want to be moving around the map, which Queen of Pain is doing, so definitely good on Queen here. And if you're going for Scream of Pain...
Undying currently has been spending the time to dive under the tier 1 tower looking for Rhino, but will now walk back through and feed his life away.
In the
And
top lane, I'm so sorry, Licky. In the
I just
top
heard the
lane,
Sonic Wave, but I don't know what happened.
she totally missed the wave. So they were doing like a little bit of engage on Morphling, and the Morphling waved away, and the wave was like right after the wave. Sorry. That's the Scream of Pain, or the Sonic Wave was right after the
Wave.
waveform. Jesus.
The wave after the wave. Well, I mean, that's quite the unfortunate play. I mean, looking back to the Shadow Strike thing, I know the build these days, though, is to definitely not lean into the Shadow Strike. Most pops... Oh. Rhino's gonna go down bottom. Caught out? That's just actually solo. No Undying nearby.
Yeah, like, we even have only 2 points, Frost Arrows on Draw Ranger. If Venomancer makes any sort of overextension, it's very easy to punish. And it's hard to fight into the Drow at that range, because Drow has much more range than Veno. And if it's a 1v1, Drow just gets more attacks. Yeah, and Drow's very easily able to 1v2 this lane because of marksmanship level 6, and because of the great early game that they had.
Yeah, and I mean, this Doom pretty much offers nothing at all. I mean, he's got a lot of armor right now, but other than that, he's kind of just a warm body, and he might just get completely caught out here. They're gonna drop the Tombstone plus the Centaur ult because another engagement's happening top. Looks like Doom's gonna be picked off pretty easily, and then looking up top, toss jump forward. They're gonna try and look for a stun on All Might right here, but they've actually used everything from the Tiny, so a clean escape for the Zeus, but Raigai, let's see. The Shadow Strike, level 3, gonna come in onto the Dawnbreaker right here. He's looking for a play to the low ground, unless a juke entirely. Oh, Quap's got her ankles broken. Now a toss-up into the air from Vitruvius. Looking to net this kill on Bryguy, but he's just a little too fast. What an outplay from GRIN there.
I'd love to watch that back after this game and see what the vision looked like, because Queen of Pain for sure got ankles broken. Oh, in the bot lane, Rhino.
Oh, he's very far forward, looking for Wife right here. Has the Urn Tick plus the Plague Ward. The heal from the Soul Rip. That was huge, only level 1. My god.
Yeah, that was insane. That was almost a trade kill, but you could definitely see that Venomancer was way overextended there.
He's trying his best. I honestly can't say I agree with Tranquils in this game and in this lane. I feel like you're almost required to go treads. Bryguy, he's gonna Celestial Hammer forward. Starbreaker is gonna connect with the stun, but now the Soul Rip heal. Rust Daddy gets the decay as well, so. But
and looking at this game so far, Licky, it's 5-1 for Shitcans. GRIN is pretty much used to the opposite. They're used to like winning their lanes. They have a very strong laning phase. They have a very strong early to mid game.
Rhino.
Oh,
he gets a double poison gale plus the Nova. It's going to take out one hero. The Tombstone's dropped. I'm not sure about this one, as they should be able to clean up the hero and then the Tombstone after. Bryguy's going to look for this Tombstone right here, but the tower plus the zombies might be just a little more than he's bargained for. Rhino decided to walk away and leave Ryan to the terrible fate of the zombies.
Yeah, he didn't really feel like running away from that, because the zombies would have... It would have been very difficult to live from that, I think.
Yeah,
so
the slow
I kind of get
plus
it. It
the
looked
targets.
weird, but I kind of get it.
I think they probably could have killed it too. It is level 3, which makes it kind of difficult, but
True. Yeah, true.
But perhaps if Rhino walked away from the creep wave, I think that was the main issue. He had like 4 creeps beating into him.
Oh my god, in the top lane, look how tanky this Centaur is. He just walked right under the tower at the Doom. I felt really nervous for Doom there.
Yeah, I mean, Centaur, I believe, got, I think 3 or 4 more HP regen, but lost out on armor. But he's, like, he went for double ring of protection early on, so basically made up for it entirely, and now has the Vanguard Bracer, so pretty much has all the HP he needs. Down bottom, Grace, gonna TP in, gonna get a dagger off onto Brian right here. Let's see if he's able to make some cute juke plays this time around. The blink is up, he's gonna go forward, look for the Sonic Wave, but no additional damage from the Quap.
Yeah, missing a lot of damage there. However, it is kind of hard with Undying. Undying's not the biggest damage dealer without Soul Rip. And you only get 1 Soul Rip every once in a while. So Queen of Pain's rotations are a little bit hard at this game. I think Queen of Pain has to move around the Centaur. Like, for example, this top lane, Centaur is complete domination. Is completely dominating this lane. I think Queen of Pain can maybe move to get some kills on Doom and then try and force that tower down. Makes greater pressure on the tier 2 top. That's just one thing that Queen could do, but it is hard for her team to follow up. Or at least the Undying and the Tiny without Blink.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like someone just comes up here with the Centaur and takes this tower. The fact that Doom's able to hold this tower with, like, literally no wave clear outside of Scorched Earth is a little bit illegal, but it looks like they're finally gonna stop him from doing anything crazy. Rust Daddy's also gonna fall down bottom as he gets caught out, also holding that tier 1 tower bottom, so...
Oh, Pixie!
Oh.
Pixie was really low, but he saw the Queen and he started strength shifting. Yeah, there is like a, what, 2,000 effective HP of Morph playing early game?
Oh, Pixie morphs into the pop, blinks forward. There is no other blink available, so... a very, very clean and quick kill for them.
No, and that's great for Morphling too, because the more kills that Morph gets in this game, it's going to be harder and harder to push into. A fed Morph, if you're trying to push into a fed Morph as Drow, you know, you could get E-bladed and erased if your team isn't like watching you carefully. If let's say we're missing a few items that could help you in the push. So I think that's really, really good for Morph, and that's exactly what GRIN needs right now. They're already back in the game. It was 5-1 even just a few minutes ago. Now it's 7-5. And actually, so we do have Centaur like continuing to dominate top, but a very passive position from Radiant, sending the Queen of Pain to farm bottom here. I think they only really need one person here, which may be Undying. It's okay if Undying dies as long as other stuff is happening on the map. We see Pixie kind of just like freely farming mid here. Well, I guess Drow's going to answer, but Queen of Pain is not really having the start you would want.
Yeah.
Queen of Pain, like if you're going 3-point Shadow Strike, you want to be around the map and getting kills. And that appears to me to be mid and top lane, or Centaur has to come bot and help Queen of Pain kill the entire team bot.
This Centaur just feels... I don't know, he went for the Vanguard plus the Hood and then is going into the Blink, so like this Blink timing is even with the Doom's Blink here. So, I mean, early in the draft we talked about the fact that like GRIN had this very greedy team, but it looks like Shitcans are going for a more greedy like build and play style, and they're perhaps losing a bit of their window, but I mean, if they're able to make a solid play based off of these greedy timings, because they are ahead on their 2 cores, so it might work out to something if they're able to pull a play off.
Yeah, we see a lot of tension happening in the mid and bottom lane. GRIN is exerting a lot of pressure, and we don't really see that same amount of pressure happening on the team of Shitcans. We do have the Blink coming out on Centaur. Centaur is massive right now. If they're able to get a good initiation onto GRIN, I think they could start opening up this game, but they need to do it soon.
They're smoke behind. They're looking for the Blink on Pop right here. They're gonna get the Doom off in time, but the Centaur Stump is not gonna be there. So the ult away, now onto All Might, the Blink from Microfight, the jump away though, Heavenly Jump will get him out, and now Infernal Blade from Doom onto the Tiny. Can they actually get this hero locked down? The Frost Arrow missed, so no slow, and it looks like a couple of ults used, and no one dead.
And meanwhile, like, in the top lane, you had more farming. In the bottom lane, you had Venomancer exerting pressure. That was the best possible outcome.
A little too far forward. Oh, the Sonic Wave's gonna be enough to kill him through that Dawn ult.
Second best possible outcome. I really do think Venomancer is generating a lot of value right now.
Oh, they're still diving. Microfight. He's going to be able to get a stomp off onto Doom right here, and there's no follow-up Starbreaker as well. Now, the Poison Nova comes out from Rhino plus the Gale. He slowed down quite a few heroes, the Urn onto Microfight as well, but it looks like he's going to be food for the Radiant heroes here if he's unable to break away. Pixie's now TPing in, looking to make a cleanup kill. Race, though. He's going to snag Rhino. Oh, the Sound Shot from Drow. Wife also showing up to play in this game. The toss back. Just in time before the silence expires, GRIN ESports hemorrhaging kills in the mid lane. All Might now looking for someone else. Rust Daddy looks like he's going to juke to the low ground.
There. Licky, I am baffled. GRIN had an excellent position. They were pressuring 2 lanes. They had to give up mid, right? Because they lost. Wait, what is happening?
All Might silenced up, unable to get that ult off in time. A second death for All Might here, and now the multi-shot going forward. Bry Guy's slowed up. Double decay from Rust Daddy here. He has Tombstone up in 5 seconds, so possibilities of GRIN fighting here are very, very slim.
That was baffling. They had a fantastic position. Venomancer was getting damage on bottom. If he stayed bottom, he probably would have gotten that tower to less than half and all the creeps. Morphling was farming top. The mid laner was already dead, and their window is later in the game into a team that is now in their win. Like, this is their window. You're into a Undying Drow team fight with a man down. I think Doom was already used as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had nothing, and they just threw it all away, which is the best possible outcome for Shitcan. So it was the best possible outcome for GRIN, and then second best possible outcome for GRIN, and then best possible outcome for Shitcans. GRIN completely threw away their position, and did not punish the fact that Shitcans is committing 5 heroes to each lane. You can play around that. 5 heroes in each lane is easy to play around. Just start cutting creeps, start applying pressure to other lanes, which is something that Morphling and Veno kind of want to do in this game. Yeah, completely baffling. And let's see how Shitcans try and take this. That was a huge advantage. I don't know if the graphs will show it, but I think that was a huge advantage for Shitcans there.
Oh, it did. It was about a 3k spike total, like 2k just gold earned, and then like around 600 just lost for GRIN there. So,
and the thing is, it wouldn't spike that hard on this graph if GRIN had just held their position. They just threw kill after kill after kill. And really all they had to do was the more difficult thing, which is, okay, my heart's saying play with my team. But my mind is saying, team's dead, it's time to get that check in the bottom lane and the top lane. So,
oh my, he's under a ward. He's actually about to get caught out here. Stunned, stomped down. They've got the toss up into the air as well. Jump away. Do they have anything else? They're going to pop the Stampede going forward. Too easy. He's going to get the stomp onto a few. The Centaur War Stomp, that is. Not the actual Centaur Stomp. But it's not going to get him anything as he falls as well.
Now, these are really big kills. What is Shitcan going to do with these kills? They should be looking at mid. They should be looking at top. I think they are. I see a few pinks coming out.
Yeah.
Into circle.
Oh, that was me drawing that, but...
Oh, no, Licky.
Mid tower should be the move for them. Yeah,
they could move right to top right now. They have a lot of control over this game. Morphling is still pretty far away from Morphling's timings. I think... So, Morphling's going for stats. I can understand that. Drow is actually deceptively tanky. But if you're going stats Morphling, your power spike is coming a little bit later, and you're a little bit easier to play around. E-Blade Shotgun is very hard to play around.
Well, the thing is, E-Blade Morphling doesn't really work anymore ever since it got swapped to, like, the Kaya thing.
Oh, did they change it?
Yeah, it's Kaya, Ghost Scepter and Recipe instead of Eagle Song, Ghost Scepter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't work on Morphling anymore. It's usually now like a magic builder type thing. So like.
Okay. When was that?
It's 7.3 something, right. I think maybe. I don't know.
We're actually exposing how washed up I am, but yeah. So I didn't know that, but that's a good thing to know. So yeah, that's fine. His build is fine. E-Blade's a troll. But I really like what Radiant is doing here. They're starting to exert more pressure on top. I really want to see this Blink Dagger coming out on Tiny. If you're picking a Blink Dagger hero as a 4, it has to happen before 20 minutes. After 20 minutes...
Microfrag? He's about to jump into a people. He's going to blink away in time. Can they get some damage onto the Undying before he gets his spells off? They can. No Tombstone for this fight here. If they can find more. Which, probably not.
It's just such a... So I really like the fights that Shitcans were taking, and now it's 15-6. They're doing great. However, they have to play much more aggressive. They have a Drow Ranger and an Undying. They have to be playing in GRIN's business. GRIN just used a lot of abilities on top. They showed all their heroes. It's a great time to make a smoke and start taking down tier 2s. I think Drow is plenty farmed right now. Going for Swift Blink, that's going to take a while. And after that while has passed, well, guess what? Morphling's going to have had a while to
Oh my god.
And you're... Whoa. That's a great kill.
What a play from Grace there. Revealing the shard there. Great silence onto Pixie.
Yeah, fantastic silence.
And the tip for Bryga.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Swift Blink, but I could be if we are moving more with the team and towards tier 2s, which looks like it is kind of happening in the top lane now, but this has to be a team movement, not a 1, 2, 3. At least 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Because you don't want to die here. Drow lineups, you cannot die as Drow. You cannot lose fights. If you lose fights, the game gets infinitely harder with a Drow lineup.
I would say that the Drow's build is interesting. I do like the Swiftling because I just think that item is exceedingly strong on the Drow, but I think they are maybe a little more secured for late game, mostly because the build that Rhino's going is like a very early Veno. Like he's not playing for like the late game dots with like a Shiva's Ags type build. He's going for like the vessel only now after he's got the Lotus, and then he's gonna get the Shard, and then he's gonna get the Force Staff. So he's like almost a 4 Veno. And meanwhile, Doom's kind of like transitioning, but he's still a little further behind. They also have smoked up on Shitcans, and it looks like they're gonna eat Rhino alive. Oh, they're gonna toss him into the air. The War Stomp comes out from Sherry, I believe, right there. But now the Zeus all coming out. Huge Nova onto quite a few heroes. Now the Dawn all Brag Eye trying to buy Rhino a little bit of time. He's gonna come back down. The Tombstone's still down, slowing them. Pixie, he's gonna move towards it right now. Gonna wait for him, looking for the Tiny. Nice adaptive strike, gonna clean him up quite quickly. Rust Daddy has to be careful. Has the Nova on him still. Gonna take a tick of damage and fall down there. And all the way back there, Grace on barely a sliver of HP.
That was it was interesting and kind of a weird fight to watch. And the reason that is because there was incredible restraint on the side of Shitcans, like coordinated restraint. They went in and started the fight, right? They had the Centaur follow-up, it looked good. However, Venomancer got the ult onto everyone pretty much, and they just started backing off. Do I think they could have kept on going in? It's a little bit tough. Maybe Queen of Pain had to facilitate that. But it was very interesting to see them exercise that restraint. They did, I guess, use all their initiation abilities on the Veno, and they needed more to get on top of the Zeus and all of Zeus's friends. They backed up more because I think they saw Morphling coming from the side, or they knew that Morphling was going to come, and it ended up being like an okay fight for both sides. But it is Grin favored regardless of what happens. Because if a Drow lineup draws even or loses a fight, like, the game just gets harder. And that's just the nature of Drow lineups. You're trying to push and you're trying to win. Now, the Swift Blink is up.
Yeah.
And they could do a lot with this. I would not mind to see another smoke to get vision and then transition that into a fight or a tier 2. There are far too many tier 2s up in this game for 25 minutes for a Drow lineup. There has to be, like, at this point, you want to be at Rax or have taken Rax. So, much more aggressive. I want to see much more aggression from Radiant.
They have smoked on their supports, but there are no obs to place. Just a sentry on the Tiny, but they're hoping for someone here, but again, they're not really like occupying this dire jungle. Like that's generally the play for most like Radiant teams, to like take over this area, secure vision. But I feel like maybe they're a little tethered to their mid tower here since it's still alive. I feel like they're allowed to give it up at this point in the game. They are going to potentially go on a Microfire right here. They're going to get a stun off in time. Can they lock down the Centaur in time? The Lotus Orb's going to come up, plus the Centaur ult. The Runaway is there. Let's see if GRIN Esports are going to commit further. Sonic Wave, Pixie and Brock, I hope deleted in just a matter of seconds, and now Microfire going in, gets a stun off onto the Doom right here. Can they get any more extra damage? The Silence from Life, the low ground, now Vitruvius, toss combo onto the Zeus plus the Doom. Oh no, they've lost heroes all over. Rhino's able to get a turn onto the Undying, but still a massive loss for GRIN here.
Yep, and this is exactly... Now, again, we're in this situation again where good fight for Radiant, but they have to take stuff from it. They have to take... Could they have gone mid here? I think absolutely. Are you really scared of the half-health Veno? Or maybe it's full health Veno now, but a Veno without spells? Are you really scared of the Dawnbreaker? I think there could have been a lot of damage on that tower from the Swiftling, safely back up, but you have to just apply as much pressure as possible. The farming game, I'm not sure how the farming game is going to pan out for Radiant here. I think it's not a good idea against the Morphling and the Venomancer and the Doom and the Zeus. It could work, I suppose, but I think it's a mistake here.
Yeah, I I would say the Zeus and the Doom being the most... Oh, Rhino's just gonna go for some plays here. Unfortunately, latent toxicity is not gonna stun the Drow quick enough for TP out.
Yeah, that's coming in 7.33. But
Oh
yeah,
no,
the Zeus
so
is. Oh,
I don't know if you know, but Veno got a stunning spell.
did he actually?
Yeah, latent toxicity. So that's the thing that I don't know if he actually used it there, but basically if like he applies a little debuff and then if it gets like removed, the hero gets like stunned. I think also
Wow.
if it expires as well. I've only seen it used once, but it is not good enough to stop a TP, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that would be broken, for sure. Pause coming out.
Rhino equals dog. Affirmative. Rhino putting holy shit. Dog's been distracting and he just needs to get rid of it. Yeah.
But yeah, I actually think potentially in the next 5 minutes we're gonna see a huge swing for GRIN, potentially. I could be wrong. I think if the Drow lineup is able to apply pressure and start hitting racks, and GRIN isn't able to initiate, which actually they really aren't. Well, I guess they have Doom now with Blink, so they can. I really think that Drow lineup, they still absolutely, they're definitely in the driver's seat this game, but they gotta wrap it up. They had to start wrapping up like 10 minutes ago. There's still 3 tier 2s up on GRIN, and that's far too many. I'm very concerned. You could
Yeah.
probably tell. I've said this like 19 times so far. I'm
I'm
pretty concerned.
I'm honestly less concerned with how it's going. I mean, I would expect them to take at least one of these tier twos by now, but I think Drow as a hero is on a little less of a timer than it was before, especially with the heroes she's paired with here. And I do like the Morph Drow matchup, and also I don't think this was a wonderful Morph game. I'm not exactly sure like what was their thought process for picking it.
Oh,
Um,
I completely agree.
like I've just seen Pixie unfortunately melt in like 3 fights so far. I know Morph got some changes. I haven't figured out if they're supposed to be buffs or not. But I think that the attribute shift costs more mana now, but then you also like scale less stats later on. I feel like it's slightly a nerf, but I'm also not a morph player, so I can't really speak to it.
No, yeah, I mean I agree. I think Green's draft is like incredibly greedy, and their heroes aren't even really. It doesn't really make sense to me. However, like in a macro sense, it kind of makes sense what their goal is, and their goal is to kind of either stomp their lanes and win very quickly, or if they don't stop their lanes, wait for the enemy team to mess up and start winning. I do think Morph for sure scale. So you're absolutely right. Where Drow has a much later window than before. Like Drow as a hero, like pre 2019 or something like that, is a hero that you're winning. You have to win, like right now. You have to be at racks at like pre 20 minutes, or else the pick is terrible. Drow now is definitely extended. I would hesitate to say that it's extended past like 20. I hesitate to say that it's past like 28 or 28, 29 minutes or something like that. But I really think that you should play Drow fairly similarly to before. You have to be more mindful of your timings, but you still play it as just like a absolute tower destroyer. At least in my opinion. But
Yeah, it's got like the similar. Oh, Grid is AFK. It's like a similar vibe of like still being able to like push those objectives, but the hero's kind of like transitioned into like a better late game carry. So she's not like as dependent. She's got like 2 avenues. Obviously, you want to choose avenue number 1, but if you have
right.
like the right matchup, whether it's like into a morphling or into like a bad TV player, then like
Yeah.
you
No,
can make it
that's
happen.
absolutely true. Absolutely true, because Drow is actually, I think, now really good at defending high ground. However, I'm gonna stick with my gut here, and I'm gonna think that Drow definitely should be more active, and Morphling might start biting this inactivity in the butt eventually. My prediction is in the next 5 minutes, and I'm absolutely willing to be proven wrong.
Yeah, they're like not even really looking at Roche. They've like sniffed around the pit a little bit, but I mean, so far they're not. I feel like this top tower it's criminal that it's allowed to live like this.
I think if Drow were there right now, it's gone.
Or even like Centaur, just like cut the wave. Like
Yep, that's
or
also
Tiny just use 2 spells on the wave. Finally, okay, they're gonna pressure it a little bit, maybe at least with the creep wave. They're not willing to hard commit here, which okay, fine, but their team is now split, and there's a smoke up from GRIN, so they might find a Centaur. Can they actually kill him though? All Might's gonna attempt a start, but now they're just gonna use the Stampede.
Yep, pretty passive. Very interesting. And that's all I have to say about that, Licky.
I mean, Rhino's actually doing a better job of pushing down bottom. I would like to see those wards maybe a little closer to the tower, but you know, he's playing the safe game.
Nah, I like how he's playing. I like it. Because you can even see Queen of Pain right now, like, playing outside of vision. Like, Queen of Pain knows he's in the trees. She doesn't know where. She might go and look. However, if she doesn't find him immediately, she's going to spend a lot of time trying. And the more time Rhino wastes, maybe TP's forced, is more time that his Morphling has to farm.
He's gonna go for the Lotus, but there's no TP cancel.
And look at that. TP forced bottom by Tiny. Tiny is now not on the top side of the map. He doesn't really want to be down here. There's nothing to do down here. And that was a great play. I think Rhino played that expertly.
Yeah, I think he's doing exactly what Veno needs to be doing, and oh, thank God, Pixie's going BKB after Scotty. Excellent. Definitely needed this game.
Might be a smoke coming out from GRIN here. We'll see how that plays out.
Shitcans pops a smoke first, but it looks like GRIN also wants a smoke. Is it on the courier? It's on the courier.
Love it. They both smoke at the same time. And you've probably heard me say this before, but similarly skilled teams smoke at similar times.
I do remember that one. Looks like they're actually just gonna go for Roche. GRIN has not got the Roche memo though. They didn't get the Evite, so they're gonna wander around a little more. Unless Rhino. He has the Blink Dagger done, so he is speccing into the cool build. But,
the whole Radiant team is scouted out here. What is
the smoke breaks on Doom. Now they're going to use the ult from All Might here. They're going to have the Doom straight onto the Undying right here. No chance of a Tombstone coming out in time. Now, they're going to get the Sonic Wave out, but it actually misses onto Heroes. Now, the Solar Guardian trying to defend Rhino up here. He managed to get that Poison Nova plus the Gale out in time. Bright Guy's going to give his life away. Rhino's still going to fall down. They're chasing down Wipe on the Drow right here. Pixie and Doom with the BKB popped. Going hard for the Drow, but Pixie tossed up into the air, taken down the buyback from Rust Daddy. Gets the Tombstone back into place. The Doom all for naught.
And now, I don't know who won that. Because 2 buybacks, actually, I think GRIN won that. GRIN won that. Yeah, they were able, the buybacks got return kills, and that's good. But the game is going to extend now. And Zeus is like a farming core that is going to be able to, now that I say that.
All Might.
Do not die, All Might.
He's looking for a tossback, but just not quick. He actually maybe could have done it with the Tumblr's toy. I don't know.
And typically, I would say, like, maybe like the Shitcans draft might get more out of this because they can pressure lanes, they can get their lanes in check, but they really haven't been doing that this game. And it makes me think that maybe GRIN got more out of this for that reason.
Yeah, I just want this tier 2 top to fall, but they're putting Heroes in. They don't want to let it go. I mean, I feel like Shitcans was in the perfect place to like win that fight on their high ground there, but I think it was Ryan, who, yeah, he dropped this immediate ob sentry, and he dropped even one here. Like, the amount of vision they committed just to, like, win that fight, it shows the fact that it turned out well for them.
Yeah, no, I really think that was great plays.
Oh, they're looking for Rust Daddy. This could be huge if they get the dieback on the Undying right here. He might just be forced to drop this Tombstone before he goes down. Honestly, he needs to put it down right now, but he's not going to get out on time. But Pixie, he's going to go and get stunned. No. Oh no, he's thrown away his life, just baited in by an Undying. And now Vitruvius is going to toss the Doom up into the air. The silence comes out onto All Might. He's going to be able to complete the kill onto the Tiny thanks to that ult. But now, the ult forward plus the blink. There's a Sonic Wave as well, the slow. Onto the other side, there's a stun up onto Rhino as well. He's going to get the Blast Rig popped off in time, but that doesn't affect the Drow. That's a quick kill for them. And now Bryguy on the run, but it looks like he should be home free.
That's the second time I've seen Pixie, like, be completely alone in the enemy triangle. Maybe the third time. I've seen it so many times. But yeah, no, that's really, really unfortunate. Drow had a great flank, or pincer movement, or whatever you call it. And that really turned out great for them. It's good that they were all, like, fairly close, because they have been playing this passive all game, but it seems to be working out. We have the Drow, so she has her Hurricane Pike completed. She got her Swift Blink a while ago. Looks like she's going for a Silver Edge now, which is pretty interesting, but...
yeah. There's nothing really to break, but it's like damage and like the ability to like position in these fights. With the Swift Link, it like pairs nicely, so it's a little odd. I might have preferred maybe like a Scotty to pair with the Hypothermia Shard, or like I don't know what else does Drow build these days.
I also think Scotty or any stats item would be good here, but I can definitely understand why Silver Edge is
in a little bit of trouble. Gets
and
shredded apart, yeah.
And then you can die.
The lesson for you is never try.
But I can definitely understand the Shadow Blade. I think mobility on the Drow actually goes pretty far here against like the Veno, against the Doom especially.
Yeah.
And also as we just saw, you can get more kill threat around the map. It's not how I like playing Drow, as you can probably already tell, but I can definitely understand it.
I think, if I had to guess, I'd say if you were playing Drow, you'd like to have the game perhaps ended before like 20 minutes, maybe? I don't know. It was
over 10 minutes ago.
If I were to hazard a guess, honestly. This is based off of no information that I've previously accrued. Oh, overwhelming blink on Microfry here, so the Centaur does kind of pack a punch and a slow, but... let's see if they're willing to commit to this high ground. Hypothermia is pretty freaking good against these heroes. The B can be forced out from Doom, but he's going to go down, and now All Might caught out the stomp. Oh, plus the Sonic Wave combo. Tombstone on the high ground just for insurance so they can complete this push. Fort's going to come out from GRIN. How much are they willing to commit to defend this? They have no buybacks.
I think GRIN have just met their match here. I think this is... no, I would have liked to see some other stuff this game, but... I think GRIN, like, their team is incredibly greedy, right? I think they found a team that can
blade forward. Catches out onto Rhino right here. No spells popped from him. Will he buy back? Looks like there's no
can they end is the question. They are very strong. I could see them ending here. They're going to play it conservatively.
Yeah, they're going to go for the safe play. Try and get their lanes fixed because here in mid isn't looking good, but... I would like for them to fake. Oh, they're doing it. Oh, this is beautiful.
I like this.
Oh my god, he's going in. Pixie, they're gonna get the stance off. He's already used the Manta, so he has no escape. No way of getting out, and Bryguy too late on the Solar Guardian to help out his buddy.
Oh, I mean, they could end. They're gonna play it safe. They're gonna play it safe, which is fine. But they have plenty of time left on Aegis. They got 2 minutes. I really want to see Drow not hit creeps right now. I want to see them ending the game.
Yeah, I don't know, John needs to be mid, but, you know, Centaur's gonna do the tower damage, hitting the big boy plays.
The mid tower should be gone right now.
Oh, he's gonna go for it onto Doom right here. Can they kill this Doom once again before getting any spells off? They're gonna go for the BKB's gonna come out. Where's the Doom though? It's not gonna come out. He turns for the animation, but he's not gonna get it now. Vitruvius a little deep under those tier 4s, looking for a cheeky toss back, but might be in a spot of other. The silence comes out. Oh my god, he's just barely alive. The 4th though. The multi-shot from the tower will take out the Tiny. Now, do they want to back up on Shitcans? I believe they're still strong enough without the Morph or Doom in play. Oh, silence forward onto All Might right here. Huge damage coming out from Wipe. Oh my god. Again and again, the range from Shitcans is just not being respected at all from GRIN.
And there you go. Like, GRIN picked this super greedy lineup. I don't know if they're trying new things. They shouldn't try it during a series, obviously. And here we go. It looks like they're going to try ending. I don't know what GRIN has in the back here.
They have
They're still Aegis up on Drow. 30 seconds. They could end in 30 seconds.
Absolutely. I mean, they don't have All Might for 60 seconds. Rhino's Blink ult is going to be like this main source of damage for them, and he's going to have to pop it right now. He's going to get it forward, and now Riot coming in with the Solar Guardian. Pixie as well, going to waveform in. The Stomp, though, onto him right here. There's going to be things going back and forth, but silence! Oh, Pixie gets a Manta off barely in time. He's trying to Morph Strength, but he can't get himself enough strength back into this. The Doom, he's barely able to cast it onto the Centaur. They're going to deny. Oh, nope, deny actually goes through. Wife messes it up a little bit, but they got the important kill onto the Ancient itself.
GG called. Wow. Yeah, no, that game was incredible. Now, everyone already knows what I think, but my final thought is that GRIN just picked a draft that is way too greedy, and their draft requires 4 people farming. That's not tenable. Whereas Shitcans, they have like 2.5, kind of. I guess the Centaur did play really greedy in the early game, and they did play pretty passive, but their heroes themselves is like 2.5.
Yeah.
Or like around 2, but
I mean,
whatever.
I think Centaur had the liability to play that greedy, though, because he just, like, absolutely had an amazing lane. I mean, he was, like, almost 1,000 up on Pixie 10 minutes in. Meanwhile, like, Rhino, unfortunately, did not have any space to play greedy, and then Doom was trying to transition into core. But then, at this point, Doom was already in the dumps, right next to Rhino, so they're trying to, like, claw out of the trash can together, but it's not really working out.
Yeah, totally agree. And like I said, like before, this is new territory for GRIN. And historically, and I know this personally, historically, they don't do well in new scenarios. So they either have to get really good in this new kind of playstyle that they're trying to go for, or they have to go back to the tried and true strat that they know, and just keep playing that. Because I honestly think if they picked their old heroes, I haven't even read the patch notes, but Clockwork and Skywrath couldn't have been nerfed that bad, right? Don't tell me. Don't.
Clockwork
tell me.
only got his Ags changed. Sky got like an interesting shard change, but I think the hero still is functionally, mana cost increased on Arcane Bolt +5, so Sky is essentially the same hero outside of the shard.
I think they should go back to that. Just try it. Like, I don't think a series. Well, I'm not sure how the brackets, where they are in the brackets right now, but I really don't think a competitive series is the place to try new things. I think you do that in scrims, you do that in pubs before scrims, and when you feel like, okay, maybe this could work, that's when you bring it out to competitive. But I digress. I think that was a very interesting game, and I'm very happy to see that GRIN ESports has found they've met their match. And so that's the first game of the series. And it's going to be, a 2-game series? I'm very interested to see how next game is going to play out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure, but we're going to take a short break and be back with Game 2 very, very soon. All right, we're back with barely a break at all for game number 2 of Shikans versus GRIN ESports. Shikan up 1-0 in this best of 2 series. Let's see what GRIN ESports can possibly do to maybe swap up their draft a little bit, perhaps a little bit of gameplay to maybe strike back, or let's see if Shikans are going to steamroll them.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to be an interesting game. And here we go. This is exactly what I want to see. Clockwork is a patented GRIN esports hero in their current lineup. It looks like they're going to go back to the roots and kind of stop messing around. Hopefully. They're very good at playing around Clockwork. So, okay, Shikens is going to start with the first 2 heroes that they tried last time. It ended up working out last game, but I did have a few reservations. Tiny did end up being a pretty consistent initiator, but he wasn't really able to get there until past, what, 22 minutes? That's way too late for a 4 position. Like, GRIN Esports is actually really good at laning and transitioning the game past tier 2s. The racks, transitioning to racks still needs work. But they're really good at getting to that part of the game and winning all their lanes. Tiny does not do well in a losing lane and in a losing game. He is able, however, to cut creeps fairly decently with Blink, but you need to get there first. And you don't want the game to be over by the time you get Blink, because you're not really, anyone who has played Tiny knows that you're not really a hero until you get Blink. Unless the enemy team makes a really severe mess up, or you have some sort of combo with Toss. But Queen of Pain was actually also pretty good last game from Shikens. However, the one thing that I kind of wanted to see was a little bit... She was active, however, there wasn't really much confidence. I know that's such a weird nitpick, but I didn't see much confidence in any of these ganks. I didn't see much coordination either. Like, sometimes she went in and her team wasn't there. Sometimes her team went in and she wasn't there. GRIN Esports going for the Centaur pick here. I think that's going to for sure be a Rhino hero, and I think that's a hero that Rhino excels at. Now, the asterisk on that is that Rhino like tends to never build Blink and goes for like greedy items. He plays great with those greedy items, but I think Blink is just like completely necessary. If you're winning the lane, sure, go get a Vanguard. Who cares? However, you should have to get a Blink after that, and if you don't, you're starting to negatively affect your team. Okay, so Batrider banned from GRIN Esports, and Undying banned from GRIN Esports. Their second phase is always filled with banning out early game heroes, which is pretty interesting. Shikens is getting rid of Void, which makes sense for the Queen of Pain and the Tiny. They're both spellcasters. But yeah, I think GRIN Esports is probably going to whip out a Skywrath Mage here based on their previous games, or something of the sort that pairs with Clockwork. They actually might go Dawnbreaker as well. However, I have reservations against going 3 melee heroes as your first 3 picks. It opens up picks like Timbersaw. It opens up picks like Undying. Well, I guess Undying's banned, but anything that punishes clunky melee heroes.
Yeah, I mean, even anything with like I don't think Shitkins is gonna pick a Venom, but something to that effect, which just has like annoying range slow. I mean, so far, I don't know. I think I agree with your point that like GRIN needs to maybe just look back on their formula and kind of stick to that, and maybe like swap out like a variable or 2, but probably not throw the entire formula out and try and invent a new one.
Licky, that's a very interesting thing. I'm gonna ponder that. I think that's an interesting idea that GRIN should maybe consider. That has never steered them wrong ever before in the past, to my recollection. So that's an interesting thing to ponder.
Yeah. I'd like to posit this as well as perhaps taking tier 2s early on in the game, you know, 2 very outlandish ideas to suggest here in this cast, I think.
I agree. Alright, so we have a Juggernaut ban coming out from Shikens. It's a pretty solid ban, I think. The Lina ban I don't know about. I'm not sure. Maybe it's something that Queen of Pain isn't comfortable into. I'm not sure GRIN Esports' mid laner plays Lina, but I suppose it's a decent bet. So okay, Dawnbreaker coming out. This is probably something that GRIN ESports might have been eyeing. It's definitely not something they can throw in the 3 roll because of the Centaur, but it is something that they are very comfortable playing with. They might end up going for the Skywrath Mage here regardless. Yeah, so I wouldn't like the Dawnbreaker regardless into for GRIN ESports to pick. I think something like the Skywrath I'm having trouble talking, Licky. I think the Skywrath is something that they know, and it makes sense. Hoodwink could be a 4 and could be a 2, but I like it. It's a fair pick. There's a Tiny and a Dawnbreaker, which are pretty clunky melee heroes on Shit Cans. Hoodwink punishes that fairly well. We have a Puck as well. AoE silence against 2 melee casters makes a lot of sense. It's good into Queen of Pain. Dragon Knight on Shit Cans. I think that's interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that. This is kind of mirrors their playstyle, or this kind of mirrors how they should be playing with their draft, which is like getting heroes that want to push and win early.
5 seconds remain.
However, I'm not sure where they're going to stick that because they have. I guess it's going to be Dawnbreaker 5, Tiny 4, Dragon Knight 3.
Yeah.
That's a lot of strength melee heroes. I don't know, man. This opens up a lot of things for GRIN. GRIN could
safe lane Timber for Pixie.
They could safely. I was gonna say it as well. Safe lane Timber is not that bad. You know, get a Meteor Hammer on Hoodwink. It'll work out. They have Centaur, I guess, for Siege.
I'd Flamethrower from Timber still does a little bit of tower damage to the outer towers. That is, it's not as great versus the tier 3s, but
True. And that's where the Meteor Hammer would come in.
oh, true again.
5 seconds.
But no, I would not be opposed to that at all. I think that would be a fantastic punishment to a greedy hero like Tiny and a clunky hero like Dragon Knight. I think that would be fantastic. I don't think that's how GRIN ESports plays though. So I'm interested to see what they're going to pick up. I wouldn't mind seeing
10 seconds.
I actually wouldn't mind seeing a Drow from GRIN, as long as the Drow goes BKB like second item. Well, they banned it, so well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're gonna fall back. I at least with this draft, I think they might fall back to a more like Pixie-centric hero, because that's a thing. At
For
least
sure.
with their draft, Pixie's not the one who's like playing like weird shit. It's usually like Rhino
Everyone else.
or like when Sherry's there, Sherry will be playing some like whack-ass hero out of nowhere. When they like stray from the formula, or they randomly put Bryaguy on something. But I mean, I feel confident on his clockwork to accomplish things.
For sure. I think right now, as it stands, GRIN ESports draft is just like 90% better than Shitcans. I see a lot of single target on Shitcans, but I see a lot of answers to these clunky heroes. I see AoE stuns, I see cogs, I see bushwhack, I see puck coil, I see AoE silences. It just works better as a unit. And Shitcans, they could pull it off, but they have to play really, really hard into this pickoff comp, and they have to get towers with these pickoffs. And based on their last game's performance, I'm not sure if that's going to happen. So I'm pretty bullish on GRIN ESports here.
Yeah, I will say the puck is pretty rough into the DK. Doesn't even have to be like the mid matchup, and seeing how like Grace played that last game, I'm a little concerned for All Might's puck here, because I think like obviously the hero is still strong, got slightly nerfed last patch, but the single target stun from DK and the AoE silence from the blink shard on Quap is a little difficult to itemize into. Like, you can't really get a Lincolns without also feeling kind of rough. Like the Ursa though, that's gonna kind of mess with this Dragon Knight if it is 3.
I think that's a good pick. I think with Ursa, they're going to have a little bit of trouble pushing. So they're going to have to be maybe a little bit creative. They might go Battle Fury Ursa. I know that that's something that they tend to do.
Oh, God.
I don't like that personally, because so you have a free game on Ursa right now, as far as I'm concerned. You're into a Dragon Knight Tiny, which is a free range, and you could, with the right lineup, you could absolutely just win your lane, start taking towers, kill more people, take more towers, get Roshan, and then win the game. But Battle Fury what Battle Fury does is that you don't really hammer down your lead as hard. You have to take a little bit of time to farm. But what it does is that it delays your window until a little bit later, which can be useful. That might be something that GRIN ESports is going for here, especially considering this is Pixie, he's a farmer, and considering that they don't really have that much tower hit, like a tower hitting hero right now. So they might be playing for like a little bit later window. They just can't mess up that window. That's all.
Yeah.
As soon as you get the 2 items after Battle Fury on Ursa or whatever, I think 2 items sounds fine to me. Maybe like 2.5, like Blink, BKB plus something else. Once you get those, you just win fights and clear out the enemy team and start hitting towers and start diving towers and start destroying the enemy team. It's going to be interesting. We'll see how it works. I have faith. Like, I think Ursa, regardless of how he builds it, is going to be great here. It just automatically wins the lane, so you can do whatever you want with that. I'm very interested to see what Shikans is going to respond to. Respond to that with, though. A Clinks.
Select your hero. Make
Now,
the ultimate choice.
That's a greedy team on Shikans. Now, Clinks is... I actually don't even think that really works, though, right? Because Clinks is going to be attacking the Centaur, and the return damage is going to destroy the Clinks, right? Or
Like
something to that effect?
in like the lane or
In
just
lane?
like the general?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
lane.
So, I mean, that's kind of the idea. But Clinks, I would assume how they're gonna play it is not really look to play into this lane much. I mean, you do have the Dawn, and the one thing is that basically Centaur's Retaliate is weaker since the fact that Centaur has no armor now. So Rhino's gonna have to like spec into some early armor for it to be
10
valuable.
seconds.
But I don't expect Wife to be wasting too much time clicking on the Centaur and rather specking into the Burning Barrage and then have like stacks made to like get out of there, get like a quick Maelstrom Scotty timing and then start doing things. So I would hope that Pixie alternatively goes for a quick diffusal timing to kind of walk over them, because
I like the way you think.
I would highly not recommend building Battle Fury into Clinks and allowing him to get to Maelstrom Scotty and then further things like Daedalus, because this Clinks hero will output more damage, and they really have nothing to deal with like the Glepnir control or anything to that effect. They kind of just get the shredded, I would say. Also, this is looks to be a pause 3 quap at a mid DK this time around, so they've swapped it up to better play into the Ursa, which very cool.
I think that's a good idea. And I think Queen of Pain should be... So she's going to play against a Clockwork Ursa. There's no way Queen of Pain dies in any universe in this lane if she plays well.
Yeah.
Tiny is another... That's totally something else. Much how we saw Doom play in the early game, avoiding conflict, that's how Tiny has to be playing right now. Because you're in a Clockwork Ursa lane as a clunky melee hero. That's not going to work out too well if you're getting a little bit too greedy. Just let the Queen of Pain get her farm, do your stuff, make your stacks for Clinks as you recommended, and I totally agree with, and then continue playing. Yeah, and the reason why I asked about, like, is that, like, something that Clinks wants to do, is because if that is what Clinks wants to do, and that's what I think Clinks wants to do, is just kind of, like, farm and take stacks and whatnot, then I think they have a pretty greedy team. Now, they did switch it up, and I really like how they switched it up, because that makes Dragon Knight their mid laner, Queen of Pain is just going to be a strong laner, and isn't really going to get that much farm, probably go for a Vessel or something similar. Tiny's pretty greedy, and Clinks is really the greediest hero on their team, and I think that works out, like, fairly okay. I'm interested to see how they play, but...
Oh, they're going to run into Wife right here. Battery Assault. Wife actually jukes away a little bit. Can they keep the hold onto this Clinks right here? They're going to send all their heroes in. They managed to get the... Oh, whoa, that Bushwhack completely missed, but now the rest of GRIN is going to walk into the rest of shit cans right here. Nice Celestial Hammer forward. Rhino's got the Shadow Strike on as well. Can they get the deny off in time? They can. Oh my god,
wow.
Sick deny. And now Grace getting beaten down. Oh, huge Bushwhack as well. It's going to catch off onto the DK. Now beating into Pix. The important heroes are just taking beatings left and right. Celestial Hammer slow, plus the final hammer hit. Enough to claim the kill. There is a Bushwhack timing up pretty darn soon. Nice catch onto 2 right here. Orb as well, available from All Might to secure a kill when it comes through. Vitruvius went for the tree first, actually, so has no burst potential. And that's going to be the 4th kill in these early seconds of the game. Now the hammer going for it again, but Braga has another battery salt available, so should be fine.
That is an annoying ability.
Yeah.
So yeah, that worked out really well for GRIN. They have a really strong level 1, and they took advantage of it. And I think that was really great. And it was really lucky, actually, as well, that they were able to find that kill.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that All Might got so much out of that means he basically will have his bottle pre 1 minute. It can start flying out right now if he wants it, so this is an insanely good start for the puck here.
And I'm actually starting to kind of like shit-can's draft. Now, I like GRIN's draft more, but I can definitely appreciate shit-can's draft now that they've switched up the lanes. The way I was thinking about it in the lanes that they had, I was like, okay, this is not good. 911, 911. We have an emergency. But no, I actually kind of appreciate it, and I think they could pull it off. I think GRIN has to play super aggro, as you said, and I think shit-cans have to just play the farming game on Clinks and just start destroying heroes, and maybe move his 4 with the Dragonite for objectives.
Yeah, it's definitely on GRIN to win this one. I feel like shit-cans can basically play their draft very easily and like execute this, and I mean I'm gonna have to look for Pixie to I think really pop off here. And oh, he's got a Ring of Health queued up. No, I'm seeing a Battle Fury in the future, and I'm not exactly liking it, but...
No, it's a casual ring, Licky. We don't have to start panicking right now. He's going for a Vanguard. It's a new build. You just don't get it.
Oh, the wife actually had their courier stop moving, and then it died. I probably would have died regardless, as Hoodwink did get an early point in Scurry to catch up to it, but... looks like Rhino's gonna try and do some creep cutting shenanigans of some sort, or just dive this Clinks under the tower. It's like the Dawnbreaker's
Clinks is kind of struggling in this lane. Oh my god, look at that wave that's about to... It's like a double wave barreling into Rhino. Rhino's gonna have a great time here.
Yeah, I honestly expect this lane to go better because it's paired with the Dawnbreaker, but I'm honestly not exactly sure what's going on, but Dawn's getting like solo zoned by a Hoodwink, which I think is a little criminal, but it's fine, I guess. And there's couriers dying left and right. My god, how is this happening?
Yeah, both teams. Both teams there's just couriers just falling left and right. Pixie's actually in a little bit of trouble here. He just got Shadow Strike.
They have kill potential. If Microfy actually blinks in, Pixie's has to jump away just in time. The tree toss though. Oh, Pixie.
He's fine. He's got the Tango. We're chilling.
Very, very close. And he has a salve as well. Plus the banner creep, giving him the extra 3 HP regen. Let's go. Oh,
and in the bottom lane, Clinks is actually able to get a kill. Rustaddy got the kill. It was just a slight overextension from the Hoodwink and an easy combo from Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, honestly, this is how it should be. Dawnbreaker should body Hoodwink as the support matchup there, and that should allow them to kind of like 2v1 Rhino a little bit, or at least allow this Clinks to last it. But I mean, Centaur does have insane damage, so it's gonna be a little rough for Clinks 47 base to actually do anything. Especially if he uses his heal like that to let Rhino deny some creeps, but they're gonna get the Starbreaker off onto Rhino right here. As we can see, he still does take a decent amount of damage on this Centaur, but...
In the top lane, actually, Braga is getting a little bit aggressive on Tiny. I don't think Ursa wants to play with him.
Yeah.
But Ursa's having a rough time. I don't know how many salves he's used so far, but he does not really want to push up in the wave. I'm actually surprised that Queen of Pain could just be freezing that wave right there and bullying the Ursa out. But she is pushing. Okay, now she's starting to freeze it a little bit.
Yeah.
They're going on Tiny.
for a bit of
Wait,
a
what are
play,
they-
but Microfight does have a cool blink ability, so I'm not sure exactly how this results in a kill, unless it's onto Vitruvius, which is actually a much easier kill to get if they can get it. This tiny
That's a
hero,
whole creep wave though.
Bry guy has to be a little careful there. There is a blink up again from Microfi, as this is only a 12-second cooldown.
They can kill both of them right, or the Radiant can kill Dire right now, if they step up.
Yeah, I mean, Vitruvius has at least one spell to use. And Pixie is, again, on, like, no HP. Okay, now I feel like a casual ring actually might be kind of value. They're going to toss Bry Guy back. He is out of mana here. He does have 3 stick charges to play with right now. But there is a blink from Microfi. Has to be a little bit careful about committing it into the Ursa.
Yeah, but Ursa's, again, he's really low, and especially on this level 5 timing on Queen, she's probably going to go 3-point Shadow Strike to make sure that Ursa can never enter this lane again. If Ursa goes to jungle, Queen of Pain follows. If Ursa goes... Ursa could make a gank on bot lane, or actually even on mid, believe it or not, on the Dragon Knight. Ursa has a lot of options here, but if he chooses anything other than the aggro route, it's going to be really hard for him, for I would think, for the next, like, 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I think GRIN got a little blindsided by this lane swap up, and it's showing here.
Which was really good, by the way.
Yeah, it's a great play
Radiant's
from
choice,
Shitans.
it was incredible. Like, I, surprisingly caught myself thinking really, like, monolithically, like, saying, okay, these are the lanes. But they did a fantastic job of switching up these lanes into something that makes it so they're not losing everything. They're actually winning these lanes now. They just had to get a little bit creative. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna use some spells, but I think Pixie just walked away. I'm not sure. But, I mean, so far, I would like to see maybe the Tiny come and make a few stacks for this Clinks. This Clinks is actually doing worse than Pixie down bottom, but
That's
other than
what,
that...
Yeah. No, you're completely right. Tiny, like, as we saw in this lane so far, every time Tiny steps up, Clockwork starts going in. Tiny's value in this lane, I think, is just kind of to be either running to get creeps, running creeps to your tier 1, or to be stacking. And I think that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. In fact, I would say if he was stacking this entire time, that's much higher skill than trying to force this lane into submission.
Yeah. Grace did actually force a coil out of All Might mid, so this Huck kind of has no ability to rotate for a little while and get kills. Meanwhile, the DK is smacking down this tower mid. And Tiny's actually still here, looking to secure this 8-minute rune. All Might actually does not have vision of this Tiny. He's gonna orb plus run forward. They actually have the ability to kill if they
nothing
want.
will happen.
Oh.
No, nothing is going to happen here. Puck is fine.
Oh, nice denial in that region.
I think it made sense to secure top rune as Tiny, but like these are like optimistic ganks at best. And here we go. Here's like a counter gank. Oh, there's no coil though.
Yeah, the coil's still CD. And I mean, they don't have the damage to beat through this DK right
That
now.
is
He went for
true.
the 3 points in the Dragon Blood, so...
No, true, but the Tiny was definitely the potentially the kill there.
Yeah.
And I mean, Dragon Form's down now. But yeah, I'm really appreciating this Dragon Knight pick. I think the Dragon Knight is playing it perfectly. Puck is not able to really pop off in this lane anymore, and that tier 1 tower mid is going to fall. I really want to see Dragon Knight be active after this tier 1 mid and start forcing down other lanes. This is, and basically just makes the space for the Clinks to take stacks that it looks like Tiny is starting to make. So they're actually getting everything in order, it looks like.
Yeah, Centaur is diving wife down bottom, and there is no skeleton walk available, so Rhino is going to actually use the Stampede. Should be able to get the kill off onto wife, unless the cancel from Vitruvius to toss up into the air. Now, Rust Daddy showing up with the Celestial Hammer as well. Starbreaker coming down, Grace TPing, so Rhino has no chance of escape right here. He's just stuck between the trees and 3 heroes. It's actually taken a little bit of a while to kill this hero, but finally gonna get it.
He's Hood and Vanguard, just like the Centaur from last game.
Yeah. I think it's like kind of required for Centaur, the hero, but
I would much prefer a Blink.
yeah, like that's a thing, but you kind of need those two items to be successful. Bottom though, they're gonna get the stun off onto the Hoodwink here. Bry Guy might have bitten off a little more than he can chew with these two supports, plus the Dragon Knight. And Hoodwink should be able to scurry away in time, unless... Nope. Rhino said bring more, and they brought the heroes to kill the support player.
And now the Dragon Knight's bottom. This is actually great for Puck. Puck gets to get a free lane. Puck doesn't want it. He's actually going bot. GRIN actually does this a lot. They love pressuring this safe lane, the enemy safe lane. Dragon Knight's no longer here.
Oh, Rustag
And
just
Puck is
TP out.
starting to... Oh, we have to be a little bit careful on Puck.
Wait, I don't know what Grace is doing right here. A little bit of an overextension because your Dawnbreaker just left the lane. So Grace is gonna feed away an actual pretty valuable kill for All Might.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And this is now the catapult was there the entire time, so the tower's already dead, and that's gonna be a free tier 1. I don't see any pressure being created anywhere else on that map, really. Queenie Pain's not really the greatest hero to. Well, actually, no, she is. She should be absolutely running over the Ursa right now. This is very interesting. That was basically just a free kill and a free tier 1. GRIN's early game is usually very, very solid because they often, basically they play like a 4 protect 1, or you know just make space for Pixie. Pixie farms. They go high ground, and they do it very consistently. They move to this lane with catapult. They get some kills, take the tower down, and now their map is more open to do stuff and create space. And I really like how I really like this ward that is right next to that tier 1 mid that I just pinked out.
This one?
Very
or...
aggressive, scouting out this Clinks, and now look at how GRIN is just moving towards him, forcing him out.
Yeah, and I mean, Wife has this defensive ward as well, so actually I'm very surprised that Wife got caught out by this here, but great wraparound from Hoodwink.
No, that was great. I think Clinks from this point is probably just going to bail to triangle. And it's going to be very obvious that he's bailing to triangle.
Coil mid immediately snapped onto Grace, so they don't have any follow-up control. Witchblade is completed on All Might, and the tick will go off onto the Tiny, but they may have just committed what they have. Braga is actually not 6 yet, so no hook shot, unless they're going to go for it onto the Tiny again. Rhino's going to try and make a play from the other side. Can they get the stun off in time? The Solar Guardian is coming out in time. It's going to get the stun off onto 2. Brightguy's gone a little too far in the cogs. They're going to get the turn kill onto Vitruvius on the Tiny. But what can they get here? Looks like they're going to focus for Rhino. They don't have a Dragon Tail, and this Centaur is a little speedy with all his legs and the phase boots. The Courier, though, from All Might revealing where he's going. Can they get this catch? Probably not. Puck's a little slippery. Unless he just walks back, which just might happen. All Might? All Might? The blink reveal coming out from Grace here. The stun. Oh, just dodges out the Sonic Wave, but not able to dodge the Starbreaker. The Celestial Hammer not out in time. All Might able to go to the low ground, plus the break off onto Grace here. What more can they get? Oh, the tick. The poison tick from Grace. It's enough to get the kill.
And this just exposed something pretty huge
Tiny.
in this draft.
I mean, Hoodwink. Whoops. Wrong hero, but we'll die the same.
Not even remotely the same. No. But I think that fight exposed a pretty big hole in GRIN's draft, which is that they don't really have the damage to take down the Dragon Knight, really.
Yeah, they have a severe damage problem.
Now, and that's where the Ursa, like, if Ursa went aggro, that would have been the solution. And that would have been the damage that they needed. So GRIN might have to be kind of creative with how they play going forward, because they might want to take fights without Dragon Knight, or they might just straight up ignore Dragon Knight for the entire fight and go for everyone else. I think those are both like fine directions to go in, but they definitely have to respect the Dragon Knight going forward, or they have to start activating this Ursa. Ursa is going Battle Fury, so activating might not be an option here.
Yeah, and I mean, the problem with it as well is that Clinks' farming item is far cheap. Ooh, stun mid. On to Rhino up here, standing a little too far in. Now the Burning Barrage. Clinks joining the fight. able to make some good damage happen. They're not going to get the toss back onto anyone. Brace, though, is just going to walk forward, get a click off onto the tower. They do have the coil, no hook shot still. Right guy is sitting at level 5, 14 minutes in.
And so Rhino's actually surprisingly building Blink. And not surprisingly because it's like not the right item. It absolutely is. But he usually just doesn't, he just usually doesn't build it.
Yeah.
And I think that would be great for his team. But even at the same time, it's like, I actually think this Hoodwink.
No.
Actually.
The Hoodwink builds Blink?
No, no, I'm sorry. I thought something was happening in mid with the
Oh,
smoke.
yeah, they smoked and I thought something would occur, but it looks like they just want to go top and kill the Quap instead with All Might here. Will the Rocket find Microfry? Oh, All Might gets the coil off in time. Okay, excellent. He's just gonna snap the coil, and the heal with the Solar Guardian should be enough. Pixie's gonna pop the enrage, so it gets stunned for too long. Rust Daddy, no. Gonna get the follow-up. Starbreaker plus the Sonic Wave, huge damage. All Might in a spot of bother as well. The toss. Wait, it's freaking latched to the bushwhack in midair. What a catch from the Hoodwink there.
I thought that was
wait.
like a very interesting
Bry
bait.
Guy. Oh god.
Bry Guy is, whoa, he's really, whew.
He's playing around that ward there, but he's gonna get spotted out. Oh, nice
Oh.
tumblers. Totally best at him in the game, for sure. But the toss back, I don't know if you want to go hard for this. Actually, everyone else is left, Vitruvius. So the sharpshooter will come out. The toss didn't actually go back to the Hoodwink. They're actually just gonna get this tiny for free. I don't know.
Where's my team? Let me out!
I actually don't know how that happened, but you know.
That was very interesting. Yeah, they just left after that. Very interesting that Bry Guy kind of scouted that out. Or he felt that the other team wasn't going to be there because they had no vision to confirm that.
Well, they had the. Yeah, this ward doesn't actually see the team
see.
leaving. I don't honestly have no clue why they left, but looks like they might want to rejoin over here. But their ward just got removed.
And here we go. GRIN, even though that fight was like a little bit contentious, they're already on the offensive with this catapult in the top lane. There's 4 people now trying to respond to this in the top lane, and I don't even think Radiant's not even really going to get anything here.
Yeah,
GRIN's really good at playing around catapults.
I mean, they've popped the dragon form. It's already half duration. I would hope they get this tower. It seems like Shitken's pushing top lane is a task for them, but perchance they can do it with the Dragon Knight hero that allows them to push towers. We'll see.
So moving us forward with the Dragon Knight, I definitely appreciate this play. They really have to. This tower honestly has lived a little bit too long, but I really like that they're making this a 4-man initiative to take this tower with the Dragon Knight.
Smoke up from
we do have a
GRIN.
counter smoke though.
They're gonna loop around. They have vision on people. They're gonna pop the Stampede. Going for it. All Might's gonna try and get the coil. He gets it off to 2, actually. He manages to catch onto the tiny, plus the quap, and now the Sonic Wave. Damage plus the pushback coming out in time. The hook shot plus the sharpshooter, both off onto the tiny. Able to get 2 kills, and keep their tower alive, actually. Still manages to live through.
I think like look so I really like the initiative, but look at how good GRIN's vision is of everything that's happening. I think GRIN knew exactly what was going on and exactly what they could do. And they ignored the Dragon Knight, completely ignored the Dragon Knight, and went for the heroes that they could kill, and it ended up working out. And I think we'll see a lot more of that for the rest of the game.
Yeah. I mean, the DK, as of this moment, doesn't do a whole lot of sustained damage. They get the stun up on the wife here, but where's the detection?
Dust, Rhino!
How do you come? Okay, whoops. They get the kill mid. How do you go bottom to kill a Clinks? You gotta have the old detections.
Oh, did he buy it? I don't even think he bought it. He was just like, oh shit, Ursa didn't.
He's like,
Ursa
Pixie,
didn't have
where's your dust,
Ursa's
bro?
griefing.
Yeah. He does need to
That's so
reveal all those jungle creeps that he's farming right now, so...
But okay, so the top tower is actually falling to the Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight still has an entire dragon form. He's feeling like he wants to push here. They need at least 4 though.
Oh, Blink 4.
And here's the puck.
Off on... Oh, they get the stun though! There's the matchup! Oh, they get away! There was actually a brilliant pushback there, but All Might again gonna fall to tick damage from Grace, and now Rhino gonna go in, but perhaps got a little too far if they have any follow control. Hoodwink still hanging around, looking to make a counter initiation if needed.
And yeah, these teams are just kind of bouncing off each other. So we have Ursa and Clinics kind of playing for similar timings, and both teams playing very, very similarly. This game is just going to be a brawl game, it looks like. At a certain point, when Ursa gets his items and when Clinics gets their items, they're going to butt heads, and one person's probably going to emerge, probably. And that's it. That's the game.
Yeah. Oh, they got a Grove Bow for...
They're going on
Shit cans, which is
Centaur. I don't
nice.
think you can kill Centaur, though.
Yeah, not with the... They need some pretty good sustained stuns and maybe a quap present, I believe. But the Hoodwink is a much easier kill if they can actually get eyes on this squirrely hero.
Yep, and both teams are just kind of bouncing off each other. Pixie's actually in the top lane, surprisingly enough. He has his blink, and this... I don't like it.
The blink on Ursa, or just being here?
I don't like trying... So, you're going Battle Fury, and then you're going Blink to fight with your T. Whereas you could just get a Diffusal and a Blink and actually be like a...
Wow, this is an insane Roche attempt from Shitcans right here. The Coil's gonna break immediately onto Grace, but the hookshot, it actually goes through and still gets the stun into the Dragon Knight, and Vitruvius as well is gonna take a sharpshooter. If it follows through, it's gonna miss, since the hero's already dead, but now... We're gonna have Roche opened up for
What are they
free.
What are they trying to Roche with?
I have no idea.
A Dragon Knight? That was insane. Yeah, into the Ursa team? Oh man, that's insane.
Yeah, this is some big feed. I mean, I will say that Battle Fury Blink is typical progression if you're going Battle Fury Ursa, but I agree that it's kind of a little oxymoronic in the build.
It's self-defeating.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually don't mind it if you're going to like farm with it, because it actually speeds up your farming like considerably, and it's something that you're going to get regardless. And getting like, let's say Battle Fury Basher for like, that also doesn't make sense, and that's your progression as well. I like it. I don't really like fighting with it. Now, I know that's kind of I guess there are exceptions, but if you're going Battle Fury, like, I generally want you to farm. If you're going Diffusal, I want you to fight. If you're going Diffusal Blink, I want you to be in most fights. If you're going Battle Fury Blink, I want you to be farming with that. That's basically what I'm getting at here. And now that he's getting Basher after that, once you get Basher, I'm totally fine with you fighting. But I think when you're fighting with Blink Battle Fury, you're just leaving so much. Like, if you lose that fight, there's so much... It's so risky. Like, you're not really that strong.
Grace gonna get caught by the hook shot. They have the follow-up. All Might's gonna get stunned by the avalanche as well. And now the follow-up Solar Guardian coming through onto Bright Guy, healing up. The Sonic Wave pushes Rhino back. He's not able to get any sustained damage onto the Dragon right here. He's gonna pop the Dragon form from Grace. But now Pixie's shown up, has the damage, has the blink to actually look and fight into these heroes. The Atos coming up onto Vitruvius. The avalanche to buy himself a little bit of time, but still gonna go down to the hungry claws of Pixie. But
Is under attack.
Interesting.
good pickups there from GRIN.
Yeah, that is good. Now they are going to have a little bit of trouble taking these towers. They will get progressively better throughout the game because of the Battle Fury pickup on Ursa. But as we can see right here, if you had a tower taker, that tower would be gone right now. Right now they're at about half. We do have a few heroes coming up on Radiant, but I don't think they're going to try defending this.
Also, if Rhino tanks the tower, that would help.
Brad Guy's already looking top as well.
He's like, Pings, team, where are you? Microfy actually is very, very low on mana. Doesn't see Bry Guy right here, but seems to sense that something's off. Hookshot.
So close.
It was actually just short. If that was level 2 hookshot, it would have hit.
Oh my god. And here we go. Here's the hoodwink. Nah, that's not gonna happen.
Microfy
But
now
yeah,
has BKB, so...
I think fighting with the blink is risky because you don't really have anything else besides the blink in your kit. Ursa's for sure strong, but you can definitely get messed up without items. So.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you like take these fights, and the way Pixie's been playing it so far, the fights-wise, is like someone's going in first, they're taking the attention,
right.
And then he's like he's a cleanup crew, he's the garbage man, you know, taking out the trash at the end of the fight. So And it's working out pretty well because he's that like sustained damage, and Shitken so far, it feels like their game plan is a little falling apart. I think they're a little lost on what to do, and I think their Clinks went a little too greedy in the wrong direction with the Dragonlance crit stick build-up instead of going for straight Scotty. Rhino gonna get the ult off Blink and actually patches on to do Solar Guardian to fall up to heal the two heroes up, but now Pixie's looking for someone.
Basher.
He's got the overpower plus the Blink. He's going in offer to Vitruvius right here. Not able to clean up the Tiny now. He's gonna catch him. The coil does come out, but the BKB used from the Dragon Knight. All Might will get quite low, but has an Aegis to play around with now. Looks like they're going to try and make a play for this tower. They actually have vision. All Might's going to go in, get the silence off. Oh my god. Nice catch from Pixie. Put the Atos onto the Dawnbreaker. Russ said he's going to fall. Sonic Wave comes out. Pixie is a little too far forward. The Aegis is going to get popped on All Might. He's on the other side of the fight here, but he's stunned. Tossed up into the air. Wife with huge damage from the Skellies. Now looking for Rhino or potentially the Hoodwink right here. He's slowed down for quite a bit. Has no blink away. There is a stun as well from Dragon Knight. He's gonna get the lots of magic damage off. So
this is really, really big for Shitcans.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, so this Clinks is gonna be farming all game. The reason why we wanted Ursa to be maybe a little bit more aggressive with the item build instead of going Battle Fury is to punish the Clinks who's going to be farming.
But what? Why is he still there?
That's just typical Bragai plays.
Oh, he wants Microfry. He's gonna go for the play right here. Too easy if he can get the follow-up. Bushwhack as well. They're gonna get the root. Oh, the Sharpshooter. This could be a massive kill.
Wait, no, Tiny's out of position, but Dragonnight's here.
Why'd you TP there like that? Oh my god. They might actually lose both supports, but I think it's still worth it. Unless All Might's looking to show up. Bragai manages to break away. Nice cog as well to push away the coil. Catches off onto Grace. There is no BKB for this Dragon Knight for just a couple more seconds. Now we'll be able to pop it if it's needed. But Wife, Clinks is showing up. Is looking for All Might right here. The Skellies are gonna pop. Oh my god, the Burning Barrage shreds through them. Bragai to fall as well to Grace. So perhaps not worth it in the end. Unless
it's rough.
Rhino, you have some detection this time around. He does have some ducks. He's gonna pop it. Now Pixie, he's able to see the target that he wants. Grace now stuck in the trees, has the blink available, is gonna pop the Dragon form, maybe look forward. Gonna get the stun off to Pixie right here. Rust Daddy as well. The follow-up Solar Guardian Sun. Can they chain lock this Ursa down? The Burning Barrage, the damage. Pixie's so low. He needs to get that enrage off. He doesn't have it. Wife gets a huge crit, and oh my god, can they stop fighting in this absurd part of the map right now?
Oh man. Yeah, this is incredible. I think GRIN just took a lot of weird engagement, or two back-to-back weird engagements. And the Clinks is strong now. His Scotty is pretty much completed right now, and he's gonna be much harder to kill in the following fights. I'm not gonna talk about the Ursa build any longer because I think I put my 2 cents in, and I think everyone understands that I would want the Ursa to be aggressive to punish the Clinks, so that you can just kind of hammer the lead in and start winning.
Yeah.
But both teams are in a position now where they have both hard farmers, and these fights are going to come out one way or
the Fireball. They're going to get the Shadow Strike for the slow as well. Rhino actually doesn't have Stampede available. They're actually potentially going to be able to kill this. Yes. Never mind.
They don't have not enough follow-up damage.
Unless Sonic
We have a question mark and I'll check, but yeah, he's incredibly tanky. They're going to need at least one more hero, damage-dealing hero to kill everyone, but...
Rhino's feeling a little spicy. I mean, it is classic Rhino, but...
But yeah, it's going to be farmer v farmer this game, and one side is going to come out, and it looks like Clinks is starting to pull ahead. And we're going to see... You know, maybe Radiant can make a few missteps in the game. I think GRIN is still doing a fantastic job of pressuring these lanes. So I think this game is still pretty open-ended. I think Radiant's, pulling ahead slightly with the Clinks, but I still think GRIN has a plenty good chance to come in because they do have a farming Ursa at this point.
Yeah, honestly, All Might's been a little neutered this game. I expected a little more of the puck, but I also understand that the DK matchup is extremely difficult. And he's going for the Lincolns now. A shard actually hasn't been picked up for Quap just yet. So that should be a pretty good answer to keep All Might alive for now, until, of course, shard picked up for Quap, and maybe the Glepnir for Wife on the Clinks. This Tiny still exists, though, which does make things annoying.
But yeah, I think this is one of the few games where, and both of these games actually, like, Shitcans have been able to slowly, like, they're slowly just farming up their one, and then when their one feels like they're ready to go, they start making initiative and they start winning. And GRIN, much like last game, so look where Hoodwink's standing, exactly where Rhino's standing.
Yeah.
I think Shitcans is really, really proficient in their current playstyle, but GRIN is really, really skilled with playing around the map. And they also are really pretty good at playing around their timings as well. I love seeing that kind of play, because we have 5 heroes in the top lane, and Hoodwink just being an absolute rat right now. Literally a squirrel. And forcing TPs down. So if there was any sort of, you know, well, it is the Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, I was
but if
gonna
there
say
was any
it's
sort of
Dawnbreaker, but yeah.
if it wasn't Dawnbreaker, the initiative that they're currently trying to make in top lane would have been, you know, it would have been thrown away.
Braga just did scout that Roche is up. All Might's looking for Grace, but again, this is a BKB Dragonite, and there's quite a few other heroes from Shitcans here. All Might's gonna go forward, gonna get the coil just off onto the Tiny. Now the Dawn ult's gonna come out. The Orb, though, forward, Grace doesn't have a stun, unless catches onto All Might right here. Huge damage, but hook shot from Bri might just be enough, but the crit, it comes out in time, plus the Sonic Wave for ensures the 2 heroes will fall from GRIN ESports. Pixie not willing to go balls to the wall right here. Has a BKB on the way, I believe, so definitely does not want to engage until that arrives.
Yeah, there's such heavy lockdown. This is just like a very easy BKB game on Ursa, and maybe even, I hesitate to say Centaur, but it's just a great BKB game for Core.
Question for you: has this Aegis thing always been on the map here?
The Aegis thing?
Oh wait, maybe that's just the Arena have. Never mind. Continue. They're taking Roche on the side of Shitcans.
Well, so now they can do Roche for sure. I think Clinks is plenty strong. So Clinks is going for Hurricane Pike. I actually like that. Wait.
They're
okay,
backing
so
away because Puck's respawning. I guess they're scared of that.
That makes sense. We also have Death Pack coming up in another 15 seconds. Might want to play around that.
Pixie's gonna...
Pixie's showing himself. He doesn't have Aegis.
Okay. Aegis still belongs to the big Roche creep here, but
Smoke coming out on GRIN.
I don't think they spotted that. Grace is actually just going to walk forward. No BKB for just a couple more seconds, so they have to be a little careful. Pixie's going to walk in the blink over onto All Might. He's caught out, taken down. That's a terrible way to start the fight from GRIN. But now, stun forward from the 2 heroes. Rhino's going in. He's trying to get some damage off the heroes, but BKB is getting popped from Grace. But now Pixie, he's trying to go forward. Wife just beating into lots of damage. Bry Guy from behind, able to take the hook shot, but the heals. Dawnbreaker pumping in so much heals from this Solar Guardian. And now Microfy going to get bashed up from Pixie right here. Has a little bit of mana to blink away in time, but Rustaddy stunned with the Starbreaker. Wipe on the low ground, still trying to get a hold of this Ursa who's just tearing apart the backlines. It's still 3 heroes down to 2. GRIN fighting at a deficit here. Vitruvi is able to get the Ava. Can he get the Tots though? Bry Guy up into the air. Microfy needs a little bit of a slow or a stun or some damage. Looks like he might just get all 3, perhaps. Bry Guy juking around, being annoying. Can they complete the kill? Okay, finally they're gonna get it. Now, turning over to Pixie, blinks down to the low ground. Has a TP going away. Wife? No TP cancel to speak of.
He's fine. No, that was an absolutely insane fight. I think Ursa lived so long, much longer than I expected there, and that's mostly to do with the fact that Clinks didn't have the Hurricane Pike to get onto high ground to start whacking on him. But here we go. We have the Roche going to the side of Radiant, and this is really, really big. This is second Roche, the infamous second Roche, and the farmer on the Radiant side is... Actually, let's pull up net worth real quick. Yeah, he's actually really pulling ahead of the Ursa here, and I think we said this earlier in the game. I think you might have said it, but I think Clinks is a little bit scarier in this game, in the middle to late game than Ursa. Ursa definitely has kill threat, especially with Abyssal, but if you're not able to burst down the Clinks, he can annihilate, as we saw with the Puck in that fight, he can just absolutely annihilate this team no matter how tanky they are.
Yeah, and I mean, this Clinks is just scaling infinitely better with like damage. The fact that this Clinks, again, Wife has not had to go for a BKB in either of these games. Grace? A whole hookshot just off the mark. The BKB is gonna get popped. You're gonna use the Dragon Tail turn on to Rhino. As we can see here, the Clinks has plenty of damage to go around. A crit again is gonna take down the Centaur, and the Stampede is simply just to disengage. Pixie was hit by a Witchblade. Question mark goes off with the Rhino, the blink away from the Shadow Strike. So... Oh, Rye Guy, where are you going here? He's gonna lose his jetpack on the low ground. Not sure this is where you want to be, and I think he's gonna agree as he falls down into the dirt, but regen for DK. This should be some towers here. This has to be some towers.
This has to be tower. I think Clinks is way too strong to not take towers here. But Clinks is actually going for Daedalus. I think a
Dire's middle tower is
a Gleipnir would have actually been really, really good this game. There's a lot of clunky melee heroes on the side of GRIN, including an Ursa.
Too easy, guys.
Raised.
I was too busy watching All Might, but looks like that's gonna be the...
I really like what Pixie's doing right now, but he has to be careful. Well, I mean, every hero on Radiant is actually showing, so he's fine. But yeah, basically Ursa is trying his best to equalize the map right here. What Ursa probably should be doing at the moment is cutting mid wave. He's trying to go for the bottom tower. That's a little bit greedy. I think it's better than... Okay. So he is going back because they are starting to push, but I think cutting would have been a much better use of time.
Yeah, I think if you cut this mid wave, I mean, All Might just clears this wave out with like an orb or two, and if they don't have this wave here, which is a catapult wave, so very, very essential if he's able to cut it quickly, but then Wife just kind of isn't able to make this play. Sure, yeah, the banner creep does exist.
And he's gonna gives, I forgot what the ores are. It's bonus health regen.
Yeah, and then bonus health regen.
And
that's it. Yeah.
Well, that counts.
Yeah, Rhino
going in.
He's not gonna go. Grace though gets a stun off onto Pixie right here. Can they get the chainsaw? They're gonna get out of the Sonic Wave. Pixie torn apart once more. Bro, the all chat comes out. Pixie's gone though. Now the silence off onto All Might. They're getting huge damage from the DK here. What does All Might have? He has a blink maybe to get himself out of here. He's gonna blink to the... Where in the world did All Might go? I think he went to the low ground, but the tearing heroes up on the high ground here. And now they're looking for tier 4s. Ooh.
Oh.
They're talking their shit, and they have the right to do it because they are winning.
Because Rhino did it first! No!
Oh. All Might pulling out the MMR card, but they are gonna lose this series most probably. They have one attempt more. They're gonna coil onto 4 heroes. Not bad start, but it looks like they're just gonna go objective-based gaming for shit cans right here. Bry Guy, nice hook shot off onto 2, but his life is forfeit, and so is his Ancient.
Oh my god. That was what a game. What a game. I am speechless. I think both teams did okay. I think, and I'm just surprised because GRIN was they had a better record, right, going into this than Shitcans, or slightly better.
Slightly better, like one game, but they had like the better momentum, but they
right.
Yeah.
And they just got 2-0'd. Incredible. That's incredible. And Shitcans definitely deserves it. I think the thing that I personally love, gameplay aside, what I love that Shitcans did this game is the lane swaps. Because players are really lazy, myself included. I fell into it in draft. I'm like, oh, this guy's going to be top, this guy's going to be bot. They said, no, we're going to change it up and get winning lanes out of this. We're gonna get something out of this, which is what you're supposed to do. And what looked like a really tough game if they played it like lazy players would have done, which is like send the DK to offlane regardless, or do whatever. And yeah, I mean they just, I think that was the greatest part of the game in my opinion. I think GRIN had no way saw it coming. They never did a lane swap or anything to accommodate that. They absolutely could have, right? They could have sent the Ursa mid. They could have sent the puck carry. They could have been creative as well, but they didn't. And I think that shows a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge from Shitcans. And I thought it was really great to see, personally. And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I think I would agree. That lane swap was probably whoever's idea that was on shitcans, whether like collective or like singular, was, I think, like you can trace it clearly as like that point and then moving forward into the game. I don't think often I'm like, wow, this one play early on in the game is like defined as game winning, but I think this one does fall into that category where it like made enough of an impact where like Pixie expected to have this good lane. Um,
Mhm.
and I'm curious maybe like how that would have like changed the build and like how GRIN played on the map if they had this better start on this Ursa. Maybe Pixie felt forced to go for like this catch up Battle Fury to match like Clinx's like farming or something like that. But I mean it's all around this like lane swap with Microfi playing the Quap instead of the DK.
Yeah, no, totally. Um, no, and I thought that was great to see. Like I just thought that was fantastic, and we don't see enough of that. Um, and I'm very sorry. I'm a little bit tired. Half of what you said came to me, and the other half is gone. But I think this is like much higher. This is much more competitive than most games that I've seen GRIN esports play. They're usually like a clean 2-0, and they like messing around. But Shitcans put them in their place, and they played a great game. They showed knowledge. They showed skill. They played their timings. I loved it. I just loved every second of it. And
Yeah.
that's all I have to say, Licky. I'm sorry.
No, I would agree. That makes a lot of sense, but that's all the Dota we have for you all tonight. Hope you enjoyed. This was a 2-0 victory for Shitcans here in MD2L Season 11, I believe. There are still a couple more weeks left. I think 2 more before the Swiss round No, not the Swiss round. It's 2 more weeks before I think the actual in-person stuff starts happening in October, I believe. So
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for the last 2 weeks of this group stage. Check on your favorite team, see how they're doing. But this is all we have for you tonight. Hope you all enjoyed, and have a great time.